very smoky with Stephen A. Smith courtside. Stephen A. Smith has gone on television and confirmed that LeBron confronted him. Let's go ahead and play Stephen A. Smith's explanation of LeBron James confronting him. I believe this is shot number 4. Let's play that clip.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing. And I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intentions, Molly, of talking about this at all.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it was a one-on-one, I wouldn't say a conversation, but it was a one-on-one confrontation. But then I wake up and everybody from
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Were sending me that this thing had gone viral. And so ultimately it was unavoidable, and that is why I have to discuss it now. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard. By all accounts, he's obviously a wonderful family man and a wonderful father who cares very, very deeply about his son. And based on some of the comments that he had heard, or shall I say, I think he thought he heard.
All right, family, we are back, and I appreciate you for being here in a one-stop shop for all things basketball. Welcome back to Lockbox ENT. Tap in so you could be back in. Without further ado, Jason Whitlock is going to break down the Stephen A. catastrophe. LeBron James is out on the stroll pulling up on people. I guess it's pop out spring.
I beg your pardon?
I say them boys popping out on them.
Hey, yeah.
Let's get it.
He clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it. For the record, his agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to. He never called, because had he wanted to see me, I would have flown out and I would have seen him and I would have had a conversation man to man. But that is not what he elected to do. Instead, he elected to confront me while I was sitting courtside. Ari Emanuel, the head of William Morris Endeavor, one of the agencies that represents me, along with Larry David, was sitting courtside. I was with them for the game. And he walked right up to me and he said what he had to say. And apparently he feels like I was slighting his son.
Sometimes you got to pop out and show.
Sit on the air week after week, inviting idiots. This has been going on at ESPN, not just with First Take, but they're the leader of it. Hey, let's invite Kai Cenat on, a midget TikToker. Hey, let's invite idiot gangster rappers on, and we can always do. Idiot gangster rapper, who do you like, Jordan or LeBron? Barkley said ESPN has dumbed down the conversation about sports and made LeBron fans not like Michael fans, LeBron fans not like Michael Jordan, Jordan fans not like LeBron James. We've divided everything up. Basketball is this beautiful game, and we used to celebrate each other and celebrate the guys before us. But now ESPN, driven by Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, and
they got a narrative
debate movement started by Jamie Horowitz that has never gone away. It's destroyed the NBA. So again, Barkley's pointing the finger at ESPN. LeBron James about Bronny James and the way Stephen A. Smith talks about Bronny James. That's the justification, because he doesn't want to tell LeBron James, or he doesn't want to tell Stephen A. Smith and the rest of the media what he's really upset about. He's never liked the way he's been covered by ESPN. I said, and some of you all don't understand me, and Steve Kim came on here just attacked me for my argument that, like, hey man, I'm just telling you, LeBron James is sitting there saying ESPN, Skip Bayless, and now Stephen A. Smith, they have been milking the LeBron James cow for 20 years straight.
You're gonna learn today.
And Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James is saying, at my expense. They pitted me against Michael Jordan. And as I read to you all earlier this week or late last week when I started this discussion, that when I read
real talk, because I'm pretty sure LeBron James wasn't paying for those commercials going back and forth with each other.
To you all, here's Skip Bayless when LeBron James is 21 years old and just lost a tough playoff series, I think, to the Detroit Pistons. Here's
back down memory
launching this attack on LeBron. Oh, he's no Michael Jordan. He's not clutch. He doesn't have the clutch gene. He's blah. He started that when LeBron was 21 years old, just in his third season.
Young man.
And LeBron James, as I said, like, hey, there's a lunatic on.
Just think about that third season at 21.
On TV.
He'll hit you later.
Attacking me every day and comparing me in a negative light to Michael Jordan ever since I was 21. And LeBron James is like, here I am 20 years later.
And that's facts.
And Stephen A. Smith is still, hey, let's
and
bring
doing it to his son.
And let's me and you pit LeBron James and Michael Jordan against each other. And probably someone at Nike has probably finally figured out, like, hey man, this hasn't helped LeBron James. And this is why he never was the shoe salesman that Michael Jordan was. He couldn't reach those heights because ESPN put LeBron in this negative war with Michael Jordan. It's a fight LeBron James can't win.
The plot twist
and LeBron
is
James has
heavy.
figured out, like, holy cow, Stephen A. Smith is a big part of my problem. And look at the profits. They're about to pay this idiot. You know, Stephen A. Smith is a fraud. He learned, just like everybody else, from this show that Stephen A. Smith created a false back.
Not the shots fired. Not from this show. Just to say, hey, man, give proper credit. Hey, I give credit to Jason Whitlock on this one. My boy, let the video slide through the algorithm. It's just this one time.
And that's facts.
Ground about himself at Winston-Salem State University. He knows that Stephen A. Smith is a fraud, and he's like, and this dude's about to make $20 million. He's going to become even a bigger fraud and even more of an arrogant a-hole, and even he's going to continue to dive into and host these ridiculous LeBron James versus Michael Jordan discussions. And so LeBron, using his son as a shield and as a way to deflect and mislead people about what he's really upset about, he steps to Stephen A. Smith and just quickly, hey man, keep my son up out of this. And his real message is,
my boy pulled up on him like Will Smith at the Grammys. My boy said, keep my son's name out your mouth.
You're gonna learn today.
And that's facts.
He can't say, but he's letting clues off. And maybe, again, because, you know, I used to know Rich Paul and Maverick Carter, and maybe they're smart enough to know, you know, Jason Whitlock will connect these dots. Because people think I hate LeBron James. I hate a lot of the things LeBron James does. I don't hate LeBron James. And I have come to realize and had to admit that, like, I think LeBron James would have been a different person had this Skip Bayless shtick never taken off and been allowed to exist for 20 straight years. We made LeBron an angry person. LeBron James is a happy-go-lucky, I want to pass the ball to my teammates, and I want to do little dance steps on the court, and I want to celebrate and go kick it with my team. That's who LeBron James is. We made him an angry social justice warrior. We made him someone that sees the lens through this system's out here exploiting me. Look at Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith and ESPN. We made LeBron James polarizing.
Jason,
yes,
go in there.
Participate in it. Yes. Did
say
LeBron
he
James
went there?
He may have gone a different direction. And this isn't a criticism, it's just a statement of fact. LeBron James didn't have a father to help walk him through this. He's had to rely on others. And others tend to just see the bottom line and, hey, we're all making money and we'll fix that problem, we'll fix this later on. Whereas a father has a wisdom. Even if he doesn't have expertise, he has a wisdom that he will impart onto his son, and he'll be looking out well past what instant, immediate gratification. This is a properly functioning father. Would be looking past instant gratification and would have sounded the alarm years ago like, hey man, y'all can't do this. This is going to destroy me. I'm taking on the legend of Michael Jordan. I can't win that fight. It's going to undermine me as a
Shots fired!
Hey, just because he in the category now, don't mean he can't win that fight. I'm just saying.
You're gonna learn today.
salesman, a Nike. It's going to make me polarizing to a certain segment of the fan base. And if the NBA
Georgia's just
had
said
a
different.
good
It's not LeBron's fault.
the commissioner would have seen this years ago and would have said, like, hey, ESPN, cut it out. LeBron James is the Pied Piper of this league. You're making him polarizing. You're making him angry. Our other players, you're making him selfish. Our other players are going to follow his lead. And the next thing you know, we'll be sitting around in 2025 and going, hey, man, everybody hates our league. Everybody is denigrating the style of play. The WNBA actually has more momentum than us. And LeBron's legacy is going to be...
Say that again, Playboy.
And he was the player
I beg your
on
pardon.
top that helped lead to the destruction of the NBA. Everybody's just pointing fingers.
All right, so as we all know, Stephen A. has been getting pulled up on everybody.
Shots fired!
Getting pulled up on by everybody out here in these streets. So Charles Barkley out here beefing with him too, man. So let's tap into
This whole thing, if you've heard that LeBron James, I think at halftime or at the end of the game, he confronted Stephen A. Smith on the court. And there's video of that. Play that video while I talk about this just for a little bit. LeBron James confronting Stephen A. Smith courtside.
This is just a recap.
Most people, lip readers, people that have seen this, I think they're trying to say LeBron said something about, hey man, keep my son out of this. And so that's LeBron James getting very smoky with Stephen A.
Not
Smith
smoky,
courtside.
like a turkey.
Stephen A. Smith has
My
gone
boy
on
hungry.
television and confirmed that LeBron confronted him. Stephen A. Smith, back down. He didn't want that smoke. There will be that conversation. We're going to have a much larger conversation. We're going to get at the root issues and what this really signifies and how it's connected to the exact same thing that we saw on Inside the NBA last night on TNT when Charles Barkley had a rant that went directly at Kendrick Perkins and criticized Stephen A. Smith, not by name. So let's play the Charles Barkley rant.
I saw a fool idiot on TV talking about the Lakers say that.
So Stephen A. had responded to this, and he basically said that he doesn't think nothing of Charles Barkley when he uses his special words We all know what they are.
NBA.
Save the NBA.
Yeah. He's an idiot and a fool, but he know who he is. What's his name,
Those
Jack?
words.
Which one are you talking about?
Kendrick Perkins.
Oh.
He said the Lakers, first of all, the Lakers have had a great 2 weeks. He said the Lakers saved the NBA season. That's because them fools on the other network, which we're going to be working for next year, that's all they talk about. Let me tell y'all something.
Tell me something.
And first of all, I want all the smoke. I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard or anything like
Shots
that.
fired!
I like that.
Hey, man.
What is my boy talking about?
Feeling that one.
The Lakers are doing great. Got a long way to go. But the season's been going great for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Y'all just want to talk about the Warriors and the Lakers. They're both doing great. Don't get me wrong. If I turn out to be wrong, I got no problem with that. But y'all are idiots because y'all talk about the Lakers and the Warriors all the time. Y'all don't. The Cleveland Cavaliers have won 12 straight games. The Oklahoma City got the MVP and they are on fire. Y'all are talking about who's in second place.
And that's facts.
I get pissed between that and this lame ass LeBron.
Well, you got to think the reason why they're talking about these other teams are because those are basically the teams that people want to hear about. As much and as good as those other teams that Charles Barkley just named are doing currently, not too many people want to click on those videos. So if the algorithm is saying Lakers and Boston, then that's what they're going to say.
Michael Jordan debate, which is lame. I've said it for years. The only people talk
I'm not going to say he completely off on this,
about LeBron and Michael,
but I don't agree with him
people on
fully.
television who got no talent to talk about anything else. I've been saying that for years. I ain't hanging on to the 90s. I've always said LeBron's great, Michael's great. But y'all talk about it all the time and then got LeBron out there posing, talking about he all mad about being the face of the league. But it makes me mad. The Oklahoma City and the Cleveland Cavaliers are the two best stories in the NBA this year.
Yeah, Shaq, tell us how you feel. All right.
Go over there rolling.
Is this one of your favorite rants of all time?
Yes, it is. Thank you. I needed it on my birthday.
So Barkley went at Kendrick Perkins directly. He didn't name Stephen A. Smith, but he went at Stephen A. Smith directly. He's blaming Stephen A. Smith.
Just some Whitlock licking it down, man. I'm telling y'all. Hey, make sure y'all tap in so y'all can be back in.
For participating in the dumb Jordan versus LeBron conversation. Be patient with me. I'm going to tie this all together beautifully. This is all getting at a much larger conversation. I'm going to go a tiny bit out of order because I want to address the Stephen A. Smith, LeBron James versus Michael Jordan conversation first. And I want to play you something that triggered Charles Barkley, in my opinion, that happened on ESPN yesterday. There's some tech creator. I've heard the name. I assume he was some rapper. I don't know who he is. But
he was throwing shots.
I believe. And, whoever's on TikTok and whoever's playing video games, everybody knows who Kai Cenat is. Yesterday, Stephen A. Smith had Kai Cenat on First Take, and they debated LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley didn't like it. Let's play slot number 2.
When it comes to LeBron James, you start hating. That's how I feel. Because I feel like you more of an older generation type of dude. You like Michael Jordan, cool. But listen, every time when there's a
Shots fired! Shots fired!
LeBron James, you always got something to say about LBJ. And I'm here to say, bro, LeBron's better than Jordan. I said it, bro.
You better learn today. Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you right now. First of all, don't you even think about it. Don't you even think about coming on this show with that.
Jordan ain't never had 50,000 points. Okay, let's talk about that real quick, okay?
He ain't played 25 years.
James is 40 years old.
Wait a minute. First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Hold on. This is the problem with the young whippersnappers like yourself. This is the problem.
That triggered Charles Barkley. And I'm give me one more second to get all the way there and to make sure that we have all the context to understand what I'm about to say. And I want to read you Kendrick Perkins' response to Charles Barkley. We'll all be up to speed, and now I can tell you what this is all about. So Kendrick Perkins took to Twitter, "Hey, NBA on TV, might want to tell that senior citizen, Charles Barkley, that I'll be around. When he see an idiot or a fool in person, make sure he keep that same energy. He can come playing with me if he want to, and I'm going to address his ass like numbers on a house. Straight from the 409, homeboy, and we bar none." And
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Boy. Let me translate that into English for some of you. What fade all means that we'll fight anybody. We bar none means we're not afraid of anybody. We'll take on any and all comers. 409 is, the area code.
I beg your pardon?
Area code that he lives in. Did I miss anything else that might need to be translated? Oh, what did he say? Go back. Let me go back to.
You're gonna learn today.
Make sure I didn't miss anything. You might want to tell Charlie, keep that same energy. That's the little pet cliche phrase of, make sure you approach me the same way you're talking about me on TV. Obviously, you probably caught the.
Make sure you about that life.
Address you like numbers on a house.
Forgive me, that is there. I'ma address you like numbers on a house, my boy.
And that's facts.
I never gonna hit you like that, I promise.
That Kendrick Perkins is doing. But let me now transition. What is this all about? The NBA is in free fall because of the idiots over at ESPN who don't know how to talk about basketball. And they have, with Charles Barkley, again, he can't say all this because he's slightly reluctant and he doesn't want to go too far. But he's like, I'm the gold standard in studio sports TV. And ESPN has bought a knockoff handbag called Kendrick Perkins to pretend to be me on these NBA studio shows. And I'm offended by it. Why do y'all got this bad knockoff version of me, Kendrick Perkins, who I'm Charles Barkley. I'm one of the 20 greatest NBA players of all time, certainly in the top 25. I'm a legend. I'm a former MVP. I played in the NBA when the games and the titles and everything really matter. Again.
Especially because Charles Barkley has had free range to say almost anything he wants to say among these YouTube streets.
The NBA is in free fall because of the idiots over at ESPN who don't know how to talk about basketball. And they have, with Charles Barkley, again, he can't say all this because he's slightly reluctant and he doesn't want to go too far. But he's like,
Charles Barkley knows what's going on. He knows that those analysts are paid to promote certain narratives and to talk about certain things that'll keep the algorithm going. Videos that'll stay active in the timelines. So he just can't say everything, but he knows a lot more than he's letting on. Maybe that's why the criticism hits a different way.
I'm the gold standard in studio sports TV. And ESPN has bought a knockoff handbag called Kendrick Perkins to pretend to be me on these NBA studio shows. Knockoff version of me, Kendrick Perkins, who I'm Charles Barkley. I'm one of the 20 greatest NBA players of all time, certainly in the top 25. I'm a legend. I'm a former MVP. I played in the NBA when the games and the titles and everything really mattered. Again, I'm a legend in the game and as a broadcaster, and you have set up a role player with a heavy Texas drawl who talks in, ghetto shtick to play the role of Charles Barkley on Kendrick Perkins. You're doing me a disservice. And he doesn't know how to talk about the game. And Charles Barkley, he's a groupie for LeBron. The Lakers saved the NBA. And he goes, this is a dumb conversation. No, they haven't. What Oklahoma City's been doing, what Cleveland's been doing, more focus on that. But ESPN has a gimmick of only talking about LeBron James and the Lakers and maybe a little Steph Curry and the Warriors. And Charles Barkley's argument is that, hey, you're partnered with ESPN. They're the worldwide leader in sports. They don't know how to promote your game. They've turned it into a discussion among idiots who know nothing about the game. Charles Barkley is saying Kendrick Perkins never mattered in the NBA, and Stephen A. Smith doesn't know a damn thing about the NBA, and he's got this fraudulent resume as some sort of former college basketball player. You got a clown. And Charles Barkley sat and watched yesterday. Like, hey, this is the problem. You got some Kai Cenat, some midget TikToker, sitting on air talking about the NBA and arguing with Stephen A. Smith about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. And Charles Barkley saying, you've pitted LeBron James versus Michael Jordan.
Yeah, low-key, I didn't even get that. I didn't understand that collab.
For content. And ESPN needs to cut it out. And so I want you to think about the history of Charles Barkley. Who has he hated in sports broadcasting forever? Skip Bayless. He used to go on air and let's say I'd beat up Skip Bayless, blah, blah. He has blamed Skip Bayless for the very same thing that either earlier this week or late last week, I told you all that, hey man, Skip Bayless's shtick that started when LeBron James was 21, and that started on ESPN. That damaged LeBron James, and it damaged the NBA. Charles Barkley, again, he can't go into this full explanation, but this is what's at the root of his explanation, because there's a
young
massive
Skip on the
conversation
bill.
going on.
Young
from
Skip
the
in the
top of
building.
Commissioner's office to NBA ownership to all the TV networks.
My boy modeling out here. Hold up.
ESPN has paid $2.6 million for the NBA, for the right to broadcast NBA games. The ESPN has walked away from Major League Baseball, the money that's being paid for its TV rights. And there's a lot of finger pointing going on. And Charles Barkley saying, ESPN feud that's been going on between LeBron James fans and Michael Jordan fans, it's unhealthy. It's not good for the game. It's made Skip Bayless rich, and now it's going to make Stephen A. Smith even richer.
All right, family, what say you? Is Jason Whitlock on to something here? Or does he have a bone that he needs to throw back into the yard? All right, family, if you stuck around this far into the video, you are a real MVP, and I appreciate you. And remember, if a man think it, so can a man achieve it. You have the power to change any outcome that's presented in front of you. Until next time, and if you need more content to watch, check out this video right here.
And that's facts.
Shots